It never shocks me and surprises me the misfortunes of a guy who's fat, ugly, and poor. This is why I always talk about it. This is why I always warn people about the dangers about being fat, ugly, and poor. I want you to meet Brian. Brian is clearly fat, ugly, and poor. Look at him. The guy's a walking disaster. And of course, he's got himself a fat pig of a wife, and he treats her like a queen. They've been married for like over 20 years. He's very loyal to her. But where does loyalty as a guy who's fat, ugly, and poor get you in life? It gets you nowhere. You see, this guy, Brian, is drowning in debt right now. It's not even paycheck to pay. He could only dream of being paycheck to paycheck. He's drowning in debt because his fat pig of a wife met some guy, some Chad on the internet, not in real life, not in person, on the internet. And he told her, hey, babe, I love you. I'm in love with you. I know you're ugly and you're balding, and I love you. And I know you're a fat pig of a lady, but I love you. Can you please send me $50,000 cash, please? Can you please cash out your 401k? Hey, can you please max out all your credit cards? I need some money. And of course, his fat pig of a wife, Sarah, said, okay, no problem. And you want to know what's the best part? I don't even blame Sarah. Sarah has been trying to tell this guy, this loser Brian, for years now, I don't like guys that are fat, ugly, and poor. I'm obsessed with guys that look like this. Yet here we are with Brian looking like this. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Brian, who's fat, ugly, and poor, has no options. Brian, who's fat, ugly, and poor, can't do anything about it. And so now he has to deal with this lady for over 20 years who looks like this, and she's obsessed with other guys, and she has this bizarre obsession with other man's dicks.
Oh gosh, this is so embarrassing because I am obsessed with penis. I have a penis that looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, one that looks like a dragon, crocheted ones. Any costume that I had, I would pin penises on it. It's just like I was a Christmas tree one time and the ornaments were a penis.
So Brian, who's a nice guy, bought his wife a gaming PC, bought her headphones, bought her a microphone, so she can talk to other guys, make friends on the internet. Except for one day, a guy who's way more attractive, looks like the guy that this woman fantasizes about, came along and started talking to her on the internet. Listen to this.
Brian supported all of Sarah's hobbies and interests. He even agreed it was okay for Sarah to have friendships with strangers over the internet. John and Sarah would talk all through the morning and night. The relationship started to become more intimate by the day.
I thought he was very nice. Obviously, he was easy on the eyes. Blue eyes. Brown hair, no beard, but sometimes he does have a beard. He looks like he probably works out.
So you let your fat pig of a wife talk to some random guy on the internet for hours upon hours per day and night. And meanwhile, you're sitting back, I trust her, I trust my wife. I believe in my wife, and I love my wife. We've been married for over 20 years. This is it, folks. This is what you can expect if you're a guy who's fat, ugly, and poor. This is the life. There's nothing else. You can treat her like a queen. You can spoil her. You can give her whatever she wants. Buy your fat pig of a wife a gaming PC, even though you should have bought her a treadmill. And she's going to pay you back by talking to some random guy on the internet for hours upon hours a day. Oh, and by the way, she's going to go to the end of the world for this guy. She's going to do whatever it takes to keep this guy happy. No matter what the guy asks for, she's gonna say yes. And this is why I always talk about dealing with the fat girls. You're never gonna hear the end of it from me when it comes to dealing with fat women. Because I have sneakers being bought by fat girls. I have car payments. I have insurance. I have my cell phone bill sometimes when I don't feel like paying it myself. If I'm ever feeling hungry and I don't want to pay for shit, I just call one of the fat girls. Hey, would you spare me $15? Please spare me $15. Folks, you think this is a joke? No, you people really think this is some sort of game, some sick and twisted game. This is reality for me. This is the reality for a lot of guys out there. You would never know about this, however, because you're a loser and you're fat, ugly, and poor. And so now you're stuck living the life of a Brian. You're a Brian-ass nigga. That's just the reality. You're a Brian-ass nigga walking around the world with your fat pig of a wife being treated like garbage. Yes, we know you're sad and depressed and nobody cares. Get yourself a part-time job, buddy, because your wife's boyfriend needs the money. Your wife's boyfriend needs to make a car payment. Sorry! We know your back hurts. We know you're stressed out. We know you're sleep deprived. It doesn't matter. Your wife already maxed out the 401k. Your wife already maxed out all her insurance policies to send it over to her boyfriend. Get your ass back to the factory and ask for overtime because my boyfriend needs more money.
Sarah cleared out her 401k, maxed out all of her credit cards, and sent her life savings to this man. This has forced her to pick up multiple part-time jobs to be able to survive.
We are struggling way more than we necessarily would have to. And then I think it got to the point where this has definitely sent me into a depression financially. It's ruined us.
The couple are doing everything they can to get back on their feet. Sarah opened up an account on Feet Finder and has resorted to selling images of her feet to people online to make ends meet.
Who's gonna buy this fat lady's disgusting foot? No, seriously. Which one of you animals is actually buying a fat lady foot? You're paying $15.99 to buy a fat middle-aged white lady who's balding's foot on the internet. A picture, just a picture. Not even a sawed-off foot, not even a piece of the foot, not even a toenail. A picture of a fat lady's foot. This is incredible. You know, this is incredible stuff, and all of this is happening. These people's life is a complete disaster because this lady fell in love with a guy. This is what happens when you're no longer part of the 70% of Americans that are fat, ugly, and poor. You are now in high demand as a man. And so now you can get away with murder with these women. There's only two roads. You can either be a Brian, give your life to a fat lady, give her the world, spoil her, buy her a gaming PC so she can talk to another guy for hours upon hours a day. Or you work day and night to look as best as possible, only focus on your appearance so you can have a fat lady somewhere in Indiana sending you $250,000 while you sit back stroking your beef and you watch Netflix. And listen, don't feel bad for Brian. It's the same reason I don't feel bad for guys that are incels, guys that are black pill, guys that are sub fives. I never feel bad for any of these people because these people are all victims. These people have that victim mentality. They don't want to do anything about it. They're just like, these people don't care. This guy Brian doesn't care. Because they asked this fat, ugly, and poor loser, hey Brian, how you feeling? What you got? What's going through your head, Brian? And this is how he responds.
My lesson. And I will never be doing anything like this ever again. I can only hope that it'll make us stronger. I just feel stupid.
It's just money.
I know, but...
Is there anything that you want to say to Brian?
No, just that I love him and that I am super glad that he's willing to stand by me through the worst thing that I've ever done and that I will probably, hopefully, ever do, and that he's here to help me through it, and that he's been my rock the whole time. I mean, I would not be here if it wasn't for him.
Like I said, I'm here to support you any way I can.
I know.
And it's just money. I don't care if it's $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. I don't care. I don't care. It's just money.
He's my soulmate. He's my better half, and everything. So
you see what I mean? These people are born losers. These people were born and bred to be losers. It's impossible for them to succeed. These people were destined to be failures in life. These people were destined to serve people like me. Guys like Brian were born and bred to have a guy like me go over to their house, raw dog his wife while he's in the living room, and then after I get a little bit thirsty, I call him, hey, Brian! Brian, bring a Capri Sun, I'm thirsty, Brian! And he comes into the room with 2 Capri Suns for me and his wife. I take the Capri Sun and say, thanks, bud. I start sipping it like I'm a little boy, and then I tell him, see you later, Brian. Now beat it. Again, you might think this is a joke, but this is the reality. Because they asked Sarah, is she having sex with some other guy? And this is what she said.
Do we let other people in our sex life? No. Would he be open to it if I did? If I wanted that? Probably, just because that's how he is. Would he do it? I don't think so.
You see what I mean? Brian's down for whatever. Brian's a loser. He has no other option. Brian has to take whatever he can get from Sarah. And so, of course, the show goes on, and they're trying to figure out who this guy is that Sarah's been talking to. Turns out the guy's not even real. Some random guy went on Facebook, found this guy's profile, stole all his pictures, started talking to women on the internet, and just doing that alone got Sarah to send him over $250,000. Folks, for all we know, Sarah could have been talking to a Hindu guy in Mumbai. Oh yeah, because that's another thing. The guy who's behind his profile was having Sarah drive her fat ass to Best Buy to buy gift cards so he can redeem. My beautiful pineapple, go to Best Buy, get gift cards so I can redeem. Please, I need to redeem. Meanwhile, Brian's dumb as like, I don't care, 50,000, 100,000, makes no difference to me. I'm still going to support my wife. I'm still going to love and support my wife. There's no hope for these people. It's like I said before, there's no hope for people that are fat, ugly, and poor. 70% of Americans are walking out there every single day with a bunch of hemorrhoids in pain. They don't care. They don't care. So why should I care? Why should you care? Folks, let's face it. There's a big chance you're also fat, ugly, and poor. There's a big chance you're just like Brian. And I just want to say, there's still hope. If you're a guy that's tired, exhausted, can't take it anymore, we're living this life of fat, ugly, and poor, go to my Patreon and purchase my book, Fat, Ugly, and Poor. It's made just for people that are just like you and just like Brian. Guys that are losers, part of the 70% of Americans that are walking around with hemorrhoids and pain, suffering. Guys that are sick and tired of going to the fridge having to get a Capri Sun for a guy like me while I'm raw dogging your wife. I want you to listen to me carefully. The time to change is not tomorrow, it's not a week from now, it's not a month. It's right now. Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of all the hemorrhoids, of being treated like trash even though you give your all to these women? It's like me last night. I was hanging out with a fat girl after work, and I just kept farting. Just kept farting and ripping ass in the car, put all the windows up, locked all the windows so she can't put the windows down. You know what she did this morning? She called me asking me, what are we going to do for tonight? These are the perks that guys like Brian, these are the perks that these guys can't get away with. But you want to know what I did this morning? I went to the boxing gym, I hit the bag for a couple rounds, jumped some rope, and then I sparred a guy. Later on, I'm going to eat a steak, I'm going to eat some eggs, I'm going to eat some fruits because I care about my physique and I care about my appearance. That's why I do it. And that's why I can get away with doing the most disgusting things when it comes to women. I can fart in the car, lock all the windows, I can pee in their leg while we're in the shower. And they're always going to call me back asking me what are we going to do again for tomorrow.